Good morning, Pueblo West. Thank you for joining us here today on our second annual State of the District Address. I appreciate everybody who stays tuned or sees this after. So to the residents of Pueblo West, as we stand here in the spring of 2026, looking out across the unique horizon of our community, I am struck by a profound sense of gratitude. Serving as your district manager is a responsibility I do not take lightly, and today I want to speak candidly about where we stand. Pueblo West has always been a place defined by its independence and its wide open potential. But as we all know, that potential comes with a weight of stewardship. Today, the state of our district is one of measured resilience and intentional progress. Talking about how we got here. To understand where we are going, we must be honest about where we were. For years, Pueblo West operated under a model of reactive maintenance. We were essentially chasing leaks, both in our water pipes and our budget. We were a community growing at a pace our infrastructure was never designed to sustain without a clear, long-term funding plan. Strategically, the real change began in late 2024. We stopped looking at our problems in isolation, and we created the 2025 to 2029 strategic plan. We identified 14 critical priorities, from water rights and storage to fire department funding. We realized that being a growing and robust metro district meant we had to act like a modern utility and municipal government simultaneously. We also had to make the difficult decision to right-size our responsibilities and align our services. In 2023, we made the historic move to transition road maintenance back to Pueblo County. It wasn't an easy handoff, and we are still perfecting that IGA, or intergovernmental agreement, and the stormwater transition today. But it allowed the district to focus its limited resources on what we do best and are required to do in our service plan, providing water, wastewater, fire safety, and parks and recreational services. Just this past January, we saw the transition as well with the building inspections and permitting to the new Pueblo County Building Division. When these services moved to the county level, we supported a streamlined process for our residents and accompanied Pueblo County on its transition collaboratively. Perhaps the most candid part of our journey was acknowledging our infrastructure debt. For decades, the true cost of maintaining a 150-mile water system wasn't reflected in our rates. In the early 2020s, we were facing a choice: let the system fail or progress towards investing in its own survival. We chose investment. We conducted multiple rate assessments to ensure we preserve the essential lifeblood of our community, clean water, while promoting a structure that supported growth without placing the burden unfairly on the existing ratepayers. We introduced the Water Service Line Repair Program, adjusted our rates, and implemented a new rate tier to balance our support of growth and conservation. These weren't just new taxes. They were the down payments on a future where a water main break doesn't paralyze a neighborhood for a week. We began addressing collective ownership of the current system with a rate structure that supports long-term health and modeling growth pays for growth. We got here by choosing the hard truth over the easy silence. I want to be honest about the threat of wildfire, as it has always been a concern in our arid environment. But in recent years, this danger has escalated dramatically, demanding a more robust and permanent response. A few years ago, the district, with the board's approval, ultimately the voters' consent, implemented a temporary tax to fund essential ongoing services related to fire mitigation, preparedness, and response. While this temporary measure has been crucial in bolstering our immediate capabilities, the very nature of these needs, wildfire prevention, emergency response, and the maintenance of a high level of public safety, are permanent. The district also worked with Colorado legislators to pass HB 25 TAC 1009, the Vegetative Fuels Mitigation Bill, to allow fire protection districts, metro districts providing fire services, to create a program to mitigate the presence of dead or dry plant material that can burn and contribute to a fire on privately owned property within a district. This proactive legislation helped create another resource and tool to be able to reduce the risk of wildfires through local government policies and control. As we look ahead, we must address the reality that permanent services require permanent, sustainable funding to ensure the safety and security of our residents are not subject to a funding cliff. Historically, looking at our parks, the Pueblo West Metro District has managed and maintained a variety of parks, trails, and recreational facilities that contribute significantly to the quality of life and community well-being that residents expect. However, due to various budget constraints and increasing demands for essential public safety services, our Parks and Recreation Division has regrettably seen a progressive deprioritization over time. This has resulted in deferred maintenance, limited expansion of amenities, and stagnation in the development of the recreational assets our community deserves. We must acknowledge this imbalance and recognize that a vibrant community requires not only safety, but also access to quality recreational spaces. Reinvesting in parks and recreation is critical to fulfilling the district's commitment to enhancing the overall livability of Pueblo West. Despite today being raining, In bridging the past with the present, I want to highlight our number 6 priority, which is water storage, as an example. This year demonstrates a potential very real consequence when we are forced to focus on survival instead of stewardship. I want to be very direct with you about the environment we are living in right now. As we move into the summer of 2026, we are facing a challenging water year in southern Colorado. As of this month, the snowpack in the Arkansas, the river basin, which feeds our system, stands at a staggering 23% of the historical norm. To put that in perspective, we usually expect to see our peak snowpack right about now. Instead, it's the record warmth we experienced this winter, which is Pueblo's third warmest on record. This caused our runoff to begin nearly a month early. The snow drought we are currently navigating, what experts call, is a snow drought where high temperatures evaporate the moisture before it ever reaches our reservoirs. When thinking about these snow droughts and thinking about why priority number 6, our water storage, is non-negotiable, historically Pueblo West relied on direct flow water, essentially using it as it came down the river in a year like 2026, when the river is running low. That model can create challenges. When I consider how we are solving this, first, we are securing water rights and storage. We have officially dedicated $1 million annually toward the acquisition of new water rights. Our goal is to secure an additional 1,250 acre-feet by the end of 2029. In a year where every drop is contested, having our own seat at the table in the Arkansas Basin ensures that Pueblo West isn't left behind. Additionally, with recent representation added for Pueblo West in conservancy districts and partnerships for the Oak Creek Reservoir, we are ensuring we have a water bank to draw from in years such as this. We didn't just happen upon this drought. We have been trying to prepare for it and prepare for our future. The rate adjustments and the strategic planning we've done over the last 2 years are key to avoiding drastic emergency shutoffs seen in other parts of the West and regional history. We are being tested by nature, but by choosing to build a foundation of storage and rights, we can be ready in the future. How we are doing this. The current landscape, when I look at our district today, I see an organization that has finally found its footing. We are no longer just getting by, we are executing a high-level vision for a more stable Pueblo West. Our health today is measured by 3 pillars: financial stewardship, community focus, and inclusivity. Transparency isn't just a buzzword. It's reflected in our checkbook. I am proud to report for the 31st consecutive year we have maintained our mill levy at 20.230. While many of our neighboring districts across Colorado have been forced to raise property tax rates to keep up with the inflation or face service cuts, we have leaned in operational efficiency. By updating our procurement policy, we have been able to align with our federal standards. This may sound like back office talk, but we are doing more with the dollars you've already entrusted to us. Talking about the utilities, which we believe is a proactive powerhouse. The health of our water and sewer system is the strongest it has been in a decade. Our readiness to serve fee, or RTS, those monthly base fees, which can be from $28 to $41 for sewer, water and sewer, are working. In early 2026, we successfully awarded about $700,000 for Frying Pan Drive to Tenderfoot Lane looping water main. This is an example of larger focus and effort of creating looping water mains across the district in support of our residents. Since the launch of our $1.50 monthly repair program, we have already stepped in to cover dozens of residential water line breaks. That has saved essentially $8,000 for a catastrophe that one resident by pooling our resources together. If you look around the district this spring, you will see our strategic plan coming to life. Starting with the community pool, after years of debate, we have progressed farther with a dedicated budget for the indoor pool at Assembly Drive and McCulloch Boulevard. By raising the scope to a focused 11,900 square foot facility, we're aiming to complete the project within our $6.2 million budget, utilizing the funds you approved through 5A taper timeout and board committed funds from the marijuana excise tax. At 51 East Hans Peak Avenue, the expansion design for Fire Station 1 is underway. This isn't just about more space for trucks, it's about providing modern living and training quarters for the firefighters, protect your family 24/7 to ensure they have safe living facilities as well. And just this past couple months, the sale of 5 district parcels to KRF was finalized, clearing the way for our new King Soopers marketplace. This development brings more than just fresh groceries. It brings us a new stream of sales tax revenue that helps keep our property taxes low. The goal is to have their grand opening in 2028. And as a snapshot glance, 2026 projects. Track 337 and Cyclone Trail replacements are on schedule for summer 2026 completion. And just about a month ago, at the beginning of this year, we saw the completion of the new dog park at Civic Center with a community invitation to come out at its grand opening, offering free hot dogs on a cold day while we watch the furry ones play in the new space. And later this year, at the beginning of next, we'll see Fire Station 1's expansion expected to be complete and operational. Focusing on financial sustainability and stewardship. If our strategic plan is the map, our financial sustainability is the fuel. For too long, the district operated on a year-to-year basis, which made long-term planning nearly impossible. 2026, we are moving to a multi-generational financial model. The enterprise fund model, we are ensuring to prioritize our water and wastewater departments, which use enterprise funds, focus on funding service through its rate structure and growth through connection fees. What does this mean for you? First, as an enterprise fund, it means that every dollar you pay on your utility bill is firewalled. It stays within the utility system to pay for water quality, pipe repairs, and future storage. Cannot be diverted to other departments and only used in cost sharing for positions, platforms, or other services the district provides across multiple funds to reduce those expenses through cost sharing. Second, recent rates helped ensure that the current ratepayers are funding the majority of investment in our current level of infrastructure and connection fees, focusing on funding the growth. This ensures that utility investment is protected, transparent, and aligned. We recognized early on that we couldn't build our way out of our infrastructure needs on the backs of residents alone. We have aggressively been pursuing low-interest loans through the Colorado Primary Drinking Water and Clean Water programs. By securing those types of rates at far below commercial market averages, our hope is to save the district millions in interest over the next 20 years. In 2025, our parks team successfully secured over $1 million in federal grant pass-through money for CDOT trails. These tax dollars, despite the rising costs of material and labor, have been able to hold our mill levy steady. And we're doing this by diversifying our revenue stream as well. Diversifying our revenue stream creates recurring streams of sales tax revenue or other portfolio revenue streams that ease the burden for services that you rely on, so that way we can build the district through a smart way and through smart growth. We have seen the need to shift this perspective from the repairs of the past to the possibilities of the next decade. In 2026, the community is looking for a vision that goes beyond just fixing pipes. I believe we all want to know what Pueblo West will feel like living in it by 2030. The last 2 years were about stabilizing our foundation. The next few years are about defining our identity. We're moving out of a season of catching up and into a season of intentional design. As we look towards the horizon of 2027 and beyond, our roadmap is focused on 3 transformative pillars. First, governance, evolution, and defining our home. One of the most important journeys that we will take together is the conversation around our governance. For years, the question of whether Pueblo West should exercise itself in the way it's always been done is being actively challenged. In the coming year, we are committed to engaging with the community to understand this vision. This isn't a top-down mandate. It is a facilitated, transparent process to look at processes, benefits, and realities of our current structure. Where we are going depends on how you want to be represented. With our next 4 years focused on taking steps forward as we create more solid ground and gain traction, we want to engage with you to understand how the current vision meets your expectations and what the next 5 years out to 2034 after the strategic plan will look like. Your voice shapes our focus. Therefore, I am announcing today that starting in June, we'll open our doors once a month on Saturday mornings to offer an opportunity for you to come visit with me as your district manager. My hope is that this can be an opportunity to create maybe informal conversations in an inviting space outside of our more common working hours, when you can share your thoughts and help me understand how to help guide our community forward. We appreciate everything that you are doing to help us see this vision, and so we want to understand your perspective and how you see us moving forward together to understand both the present and our future. The second pillar is going from bedroom community to regional hub. Pueblo West is growing up. We are no longer just a place where people sleep before driving elsewhere to work or shop. Our commercial corridor, with the anticipation of new retail anchors, we are seeing a shift in our local economy. We're actively courting destination businesses that align with our lifestyle so that your tax dollars stay right here in Pueblo West to help it continue to grow and improve upon itself. We're looking beyond the asphalt. Our future includes refining and growing our master trails plan, connecting our northern tracks to the new community pool in the southern half of the district. We're in a community where a bike ride isn't just exercise, but a viable way to get to dinner or the park. And climate resilience as a way of life. We cannot change the way or the fact that we live in a high desert environment, but we can change how we thrive within it. For water independence, we are moving toward a future where water shortage doesn't mean crisis, but rather a well-managed seasonal shift that our infrastructure is built to handle. By 2029, our goal is to have substantial progress on additional water rights secured and optimization of our portfolio. During these next few years, based on work done by our amazing utilities and water resource team, we are able to continue this deliberate growth of about 200 taps per year throughout the remainder of our strategic plan. Without their work, we would have seen reductions or further limitations on commercial and residential growth starting this year. In modernizing our public safety, as the Fire Station 1 expansion completes likely next year or late this year, our focus shifts to permanently funding a full career fire department. We are planning for a district where emergency response times are identical whether you live in the heart of the district or on the furthest northern boundary. Our mission is to ensure our quality of life is sustained by service that protects us from fires, from our homes to our boundaries, and our proactive approach to addressing the temporary 1% sales tax and asking the voters this fall to make it permanent to support this service. We aren't just hoping for a better future, and this fourth pillar is completing this 2025 to 2029 vision. We're expecting a plan. By the time we reach the end of this decade, we intend to have, first, eliminated the majority, if not all, the dead ends in our water system for 100% reliability, along with sustainable water rights to support complete growth of Pueblo West. 2, fully funded our equipment replacement reserve, ensuring we never have panic buys, fire truck, or a backhoe again from having to wait for something to break when it could happen in the worst case in an emergency. 3, establish a master plan community center around our new community pool, helping identify recreational facilities and activities to support our growing and wonderful community. And 4, preventing a fiscal cliff which allows us to continue moving forward in these coming years on improving our community instead of waiting for the crisis to happen in 2030. 5, we're looking to develop a stewardship profile for our community by fostering public trust through consistent, transparent engagement and a healthy workforce, all devoted to serving the community through generational stewardship. A shared horizon is one where we are going in a place of predictability and pride. We want a Pueblo West where you don't have to worry about the surprise of a failing utility or a disappearing budget for critical services. The path ahead will require more of the same candid conversations we've had recently, require us to be honest about costs and bold about our goals. But the progress of the last 2 years has taught us anything is that when this community decides on a direction, there's very little that can stand in our way. The future of Pueblo West isn't something that happens to us. It is something we are building, brick by brick, drop by drop, together. And in closing out, I want to talk about the architects of our progress. This is a credit to our team. I want to be very clear about something. The stability I have described today didn't happen by accident, and it certainly didn't happen because of a few lines in a strategic plan. It happened because the men and women who work for Pueblo West Metropolitan District decided that good enough was no longer an option. When we began this journey in 2024, our staff was asked to do something incredibly difficult. We asked them to change the way they had worked for decades. We asked them to embrace new technology, tighter budgets, and higher levels of public accountability. And they didn't just meet those expectations, I believe they exceeded them. So before I close, I want to step away from the spreadsheets and the blueprints to talk about the heartbeat of this district, our staff. Progress is not made by machines, it is made by people, and I'd like to share a personal note of gratitude for our folks. Starting with our Parks and Recreational team. You're the artists who maintain the canvas of our community. From keeping our trails safe and clean to overseeing the construction of new amenities like the community pool, you ensure that our public spaces are places of pride, health, and connection for all our residents. Your care and devotion leads to so many sources of joy for residents, from moms and sons chasing each other with Nerf guns to collecting toys for children during the holidays, all the while maximizing the value of each dollar through ingenuity, resourcefulness, and a love for our community. To our finance and administrative teams, community relations, and our front office staff, you are the unsung heroes who spent late nights restructuring our accounts into several models. You are the face of the district. You handle the difficult phone calls and help residents navigate their bills and keep the gears of government turning with professionalism and empathy. If our financial engine is running smoothly today, it's because they have worked above and beyond during late hours and the weekends. Our utilities and public work crews, or operational support and project management. When most of the district is asleep during our freezing January night, or even on Christmas Eve, you are out in the mud repairing main breaks so that our residents can have a hot shower in the morning. Dedication is often invisible, but is never unappreciated. Residents, you see them in the trenches and on the lift stations. What you don't see is the technical expertise they've applied to our infrastructure debt. They're the reason we can talk about growth instead of collapse. Our firefighters and emergency responders. Beyond the sirens, our fire department has worked tirelessly to modernize the training and logistics. They have taken the community's investment from the fire sales tax and turned it into a gold standard for Southern Colorado. You have faced a demanding couple of years with grace. With the permanence of our funding, I will be honored to hopefully see that you have the modern tools and the stable staffing you need to protect our 33,000 residents and our community as it grows. Thank you for answering the call every single time. To our whole team, you're the reason I could stand before this community today and say our state is strong. Your resilience during the transitions of the last 2 years have been nothing short of inspiring. You took a vision of stewardship and made it a reality, and I am immensely proud to work alongside of you. And I want to share a final word to you, our residents, and our overall community. Thank you. Thank you for your candid feedback at our board meetings, for your participation in our town halls, and for your patience as we navigated this transition. I believe we are no longer a district defined by our limitations. We're a district defined by our resolve. We have stabilized our finances, we are building our future, and we are doing it together. The state of our district is strong, and our horizon has never looked clearer. As we look toward the remainder of 2026, I ask you to remember that behind every water bill, every fire truck, and every new park, there is a dedicated neighbor working for you. With the right team in place, the state of our district is resilient, and our shared future has never looked more promising. Thank you all for being a wonderful part of our community, and have a wonderful day.